what just happened with Cracker Barrel. Now, if anybody's ever been to a Cracker Barrel, I think you have, I have, Colin has. I believe probably a substantial portion of the audience probably has been to a Cracker Barrel. Listen, it's a main staple, especially in the southeastern United States. If you are on any major interstate, decide that you're going to stop and get some food, or just sort of like a mainstay option in many of these smaller southern communities, Cracker Barrel is a very common place to go and get food. Now, I think it's decent food, especially for a chain. The breakfast in particular, I think, is really good. That's generally what I get when I have gone there. But as somebody who truly loves being an American, I don't love our government, and I don't really know many people that do. But I think there is something very Americana about Cracker Barrel. Yes, it's a throwback to, more of a what you would consider a Southern white culture. But you know what? Who gives a shit? It's a very creative concept when you see it. You have a lot of these old tchotchkes and fixtures from the turn of the 20th century, even the 19th century. And I think that stuff is cool. I think that their shop is cool. Every once in a while, you'll step in there and there's some stuff that they're selling that's actually pretty nice. And, it's a nice little tchotchke for your home. There was a reason that Cracker Barrel stood out. But this moron, and that's the nicest way I'm going to describe her.
See, but she's not. And that's the problem. It's very intentional. And this is what I was trying to explain to you before. She's not stupid. She's not stupid at all. This has been coming for a few years. She's very self-serving and very calculating. Again, our assistant Rachel worked at Cracker Barrel, both waiting tables and has worked in their retail and has been through their employee training. And this was years ago, a few years back already. So, I have a little bit of insight into what this is, and she is not stupid. So it's intentional. Okay. I'm not saying I agree with the decision, but she's not stupid.
So Julie Fels-Massino, who has taken over, and what I think is very important here, as you have pointed out, Jen, and Colin, I sent you a tweet regarding this story from when it first occurred over a year ago, that they were planning a rebrand, that this was something that was already in the works.
I told you that.
Oh, no, I'm saying that this message actually came out where this tweet indicated over a year ago that this is going to kill the brand. Like if they mess with this, there is no reason to do it. Cracker Barrel has no reason to make an adjustment to their branding concept. Their trading numbers were good. Their dividends were good. Cracker Barrel CEO says brand isn't relevant and needs a new plan. Here are 3 changes coming soon. For what?
She's major leaguing this. That's what I'm saying. Like you're treating it like somehow it's an oversight or just bad business. I think that they read the writing on the wall, that these kinds of things are just not really for the long haul. And she's trying to get her golden parachute out of this. So I don't think she's stupid. I think it's very intentional. And they've been planning to do this for a few years. And the transition started a couple years back with the menu and different training and different stuff. So I'm just saying, like, the decor and the logo is sort of the last bit of what they're doing. But yeah, again, I think it's intentional. And why would they do this then? Why would they do this? Because she's looking for a way. She's major leaguing this.
This is one of the more noted foodie accounts on social media, the food manufacturing guy. He has a gold check mark. That's real big. That's high up on the hog. As an avid fan of Cracker Barrel, I can guarantee you this new CEO will 100% destroy this company. Thursday, during an investor call, Julie Fels-Massino said both the restaurant and its customers are no longer relevant. Well, that right there, I think, speaks to what has always been the case with why capitalism is failing. It's not about the consumer. It's about the shareholder. That is the primary concern. It's never about the people. So the fact that she let it out of the bag, that's not surprising. Does anybody in the audience happen to know where Julie Fels-Massino actually came from prior to joining Cracker Barrel as its new CEO? She was the head of Vivid Seats, one of the most crooked scumbaggery third-party ticket
dealers. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is intentional. I'm telling you, it's intentional.
Rachel agrees.
Thank you. Thank you. And Rachel knows all about this stuff. But this woman is not stupid. And I really think that I just think it's very intentional whether they're tanking it and they're doing what they're doing. Who knows who they've bet? Maybe they bet against themselves. For all you know, she already got, who knows what these criminals do?
But imagine this. For those of you who are not familiar with Vivid Seats, they were one of the two highlighted third-party ticket vendors along with Ticketmaster that were known for doing excessive fee charging on tickets. In some cases, reported as high as 40% of the cost of transaction was related to the direct fees that were being charged in excess by Vivid Seats. That's who was in charge of that, and that's who's in charge of Cracker Barrel now. Now, one would say that this was sort of a learning moment, so to speak, or you would think it would be a learning experience of some kind, if the intention was actually to listen to what the people wanted. Again, as I said, the numbers reflect a company that was actually doing just fine. Their stock was trading considerably higher today as it was compared to just a year ago. In fact, I believe it was trading at like 65, maybe 70. So it clearly was a company that didn't have a problem.
So then why would you do this?
Because of greed. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
There's no other reason. You
but
want
everything in capitalism is about greed. So that's their whole premise. Their whole premise is greed. That's all they got. So of course that's what they're going to do. But if something's doing well and then you go and do this stuff, either you've had some very bad focus group info, which is what it sounds like she's kind of claiming that way, like, oh, well, people said they liked it or whatever it was that she put out in her statement. But fine. But that's not what it appears to us. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They're going to get their payday. She wants her payday. That's it.
Yeah. Remember, Cracker Barrel is not a small business. Again, as somebody who's in commercial real estate, the only thing that matters is that the company has a corporate line that it follows to a T. There is no one who deviates from it. If one Cracker Barrel changes, they all change. That is why, as our friend Rachel has pointed out, if you've ever worked for a company like this, there are strict guidelines that you follow. If you deviate from it in any way, you're out. And this is exactly why this type of concept, which was good and now is being broken, has led to this. Now, Messino didn't go on national TV to say, we need to do a better job of listening to our supporters, our consumers, after the stock dividends lost over $100 million over the course of like a 24-hour period. We know it's going to continue to lose more. No, you're going to listen to what this buffoon had to say on ABC's Good Morning America in conjunction with the asinine replacement logo that they decided to come up with.
The feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only
I guarantee you she's lying.
Can I also interject for a second and just put this out there that for me personally, it's absurd that I'm sitting here and we're discussing Cracker Barrel. We're discussing Cracker Barrel's branding and their logo. Like that has any importance to anything of anything. And this is what people are distracted with. And this is what upsets people that they want to talk about is Cracker Barrel's logo. Who gives a shit?
Well, I mean,
it's so ridiculous that this is even news. Who fucking cares?
Well, here's the thing. I would agree with you in principle that is without question a small issue if the whole idea was that they were just upset about the rebranding of the logo. It's everything. It's they're changing the entire interior of the place.
Yes. They're rebranding just like we did, and they're allowed to do that. And who fucking cares?
I care. Do me a favor. You know what? You can ruin an entire segment by being a petulant child. I'm being serious right now. Like, it's not even funny.
I know you think this is serious shit. I think it's capitalistic bullshit.
I think it is capitalistic bullshit, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who don't get a lot of joy out of life. And very often, if they can spend a few bucks, they go to a place like Cracker Barrel, they go in there, they like the ambiance, they're enjoying themselves. And now you walk into a Cracker Barrel and it looks like a piece of shit. They took out any character.
Go to a Buc-ee's, go somewhere else.
Again, it's not that simple.
It is, though, actually.
No,
and I'm someone who's road tripped a lot. I can tell you there are other options.
No, again, you're wrong, because sometimes this is what they have in the area that they live in, that they're accustomed to. Again, the modern day conveniences are very hard to find. Not everybody wants to be trapped on their phone 24/7. So if you go to some place like Cracker Barrel and you have the opportunity to get in there and just kind of enjoy the experience, just enjoy the setup and everything, and it's been completely stripped away. If anybody has seen what it looks like now, it's a joke. That's the point.
Okay. I never
from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
That's what you do.
Wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
Can I get in writing that the peg game is going to stay?
The peg game is staying.
Okay.
So are the rocking chairs, fireplace, vintage decor. It's all there.
All right. Okay. Because that would be a deal breaker. That would be a deal breaker.
Oh, that's what the deal breaker is. Yeah.
The whole people, it's a restaurant chain. Okay? It's a restaurant chain. Who cares?
Jen, you're wrong.
I'm not. In what way am I wrong? This isn't a matter of right or wrong. I am telling you that capital shenanigans and what they're doing and fucking over customers and trying to help their shareholders, that's the American way. So the fact that some people are like ass hurt because that's one of the themes that they like Americana and they don't like that I'm sorry. In the grand scheme of the universe right now, this doesn't make my top 100 list. I'm sorry, it doesn't.
I'm not saying that it does. Again, that's not what the argument is. You know what this would be comparable to? I'll give you a better comparison. You and I, again, we're both in some way a product of the 1980s. And if you remember back in the 80s, if you would go to a McDonald's, what was sort of a known thing at a 1980s McDonald's? You had a play place. There was a place that you could go. There were Ronald McDonald characters. There was a certain feel that you had to it when you went to McDonald's. If you go to any modern day McDonald's today, they have stripped all of that away. It's all gone. It's
yes, because those were breeding grounds for like bacteria and they were disgusting and they were just gross. But that's not, again, so even if that's true, let's say they changed and that makes somebody sad. Get over yourself. Find somewhere else. Places come, places go. No business has an obligation to maintain itself for anybody. And if people don't like it and don't go there and they go under, then that's the natural consequence.
But again, I don't understand your argument here. They have nowhere else to go. There isn't another Cracker Barrel type place in this country.
Okay, first of all, that's just not true. I have not yet once been to a roadside exit where the only thing there is a Cracker Barrel. There are other.
That's not what I said. I asked you, what is the? Tell me another place that's kind of like a known place that you find hundreds of examples throughout the United States that would be comparable to this. What else is like Cracker Barrel?
There isn't, but there doesn't need to be. That's irrelevant. I could come up with a lot of concepts and say there's nothing other like it. That doesn't mean we're owed it.
I understand.
The world is not owed a Cracker Barrel with a fucking old man cracker on a logo.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
Oh, no, we're talking about changing the restaurant decor. And so what? The food, let me tell you something. Get Rachel to come on here and she'll tell you what the food has really become there. So the people, they don't care that the food has gone down. They don't care that the fucking people that work there barely make enough to eat there. By the way, they pay $12 an hour at a whole bunch of locations. So when they come out and say, oh, $12.99 a meal, well, great. So their own employees after working an hour, can't even afford a meal there. Hey, that's the kind of shit we should be talking about Cracker Barrel. Sorry.
I think if they had just focused on improving the food, they would have been
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
But that's not what they wanted to do. I think they're looking for a way out of it. And maybe who knows what their motive is. I just don't think that the general public is owed any one business concept, and anyone who has a business has any sort of real obligation other than their own benefit to keep their customers happy.
honest to God, some of you guys, we are appreciative that you're here, but for the love of God, stop telling us how to run our show. It is so fucking annoying. Like, seriously.
Please, let me tell you, David Villa, I'm with you. I imagine all the people too. Imagine all the people, David.
As I've said, we are living at a time where people are really fucking pissed off. And you know what? It's easier to get people upset when creature comforts start getting taken away from them versus, yes, we are trying to get people to pay attention to what is really causing the rift in this country. I thought I was pretty concise about why Cracker Barrel is a joke. Again, it wasn't a broken concept. It didn't need to be fixed. If anything, like Rachel said, who's actually worked there, said, if their concern was about making sure that their clientele and their employees were being taken care of properly and that they were improving their food, that would be another thing. But you know what that would require? That would require the shareholders to have to take a little bit of a loss.
But that's against the law, Peter. Our law requires that those businesses do what they're doing. And they don't have any requirement to help the public, serve the public, give a shit what people want. Their only obligation is to their shareholders to increase profits.